Have you ever been so overwhelmed with anger that it felt impossible to stay in control? When someone says or does something hurtful, it can trigger a storm of emotion. There are days when even a small comment or a look can feel like the entire world is turning against you. In the rush and pressure of modern life, it's easy to fall into a cycle of frustration and emotional chaos. From small irritations to intense rage, our peace can be easily shaken. But is there a way to stay grounded? Can we truly protect our inner calm no matter what others do or say? Can we live without being ruled by our emotions? Stoicism, an ancient yet incredibly relevant philosophy, holds the key to these questions. Thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca lived through times of difficulty and hardship, yet they found lasting calm and clarity through Stoic wisdom. Today, we'll uncover 7 powerful strategies that can help you master your emotions and take back control of your inner world. What you're about to hear isn't just philosophy. It's life-changing knowledge, broken down into practical steps. Stay with me until the end, because even if you apply just one of these tools, it could shift your life instantly. Let's begin. 1. Embrace willingness in life. One of Stoicism's foundational teachings for finding inner peace is the full acceptance of whatever life brings. This doesn't mean you need to like or agree with everything that happens. It means welcoming each event without resistance, knowing that peace comes from surrender, not struggle. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in Meditations, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together. But do so with all your heart." This kind of acceptance is the key to breaking free from the endless loop of anger and irritation. Picture yourself doing something routine, like washing dishes. If you approach it with reluctance, each dish becomes a struggle, a task to resent. But when you face it with gratitude and willingness, even this simple act can feel light and peaceful. Epictetus teaches us in Discourses, "Do not seek to have events happen as you wish, but wish for them to happen as they do, and your life will flow smoothly." This is the core of true willingness, not pushing against life, but moving in harmony with it. This approach is just as useful in uncomfortable situations. Think about being stuck in heavy traffic. If you spend the whole time upset about the delay, your irritation multiplies. But if you choose to view it as a chance to catch up on a podcast or to quietly reflect, your stress begins to fade. When we greet situations with openness instead of resistance, stress loses its power over us. A crucial part of practicing willingness is understanding our greater purpose. Rather than chasing small, fleeting goals, we need to aim for a deeper, more meaningful direction. Ask yourself, what is my true vision? What kind of life am I working to build? Unlike short-term ambitions, like making quick money or collecting material things, a life vision shapes everything we do. It gives deeper meaning to both success and struggle. When we live with a clear, powerful vision, our actions become more intentional and less forced, because we see how everything, even the hard parts, plays a role in shaping our path. You begin to experience a deep sense of peace and liberation. Think about times you volunteered, when you choose to help out or support a friend just because you want to. Even if the task is tough or goes unnoticed, it often feels rewarding. Now compare that to doing something under pressure, like a tight work deadline. It can feel draining and stressful. The key difference is your mindset. When your actions are chosen freely, they feel empowering. Saying, "I choose to do this," creates joy, while "I have to do this" creates frustration. This mental shift can transform your everyday experiences. Try using this perspective in your daily routine. When someone says something rude or offensive, you're faced with a decision. Let it control your emotions and react in anger, or use it as a chance to practice self-control and willingness. Remind yourself, this person is simply being who they are, but I can choose who I want to be. Embracing life as it is doesn't mean you give up on personal growth or stop trying to improve your world. It means you recognize what's outside your power and shift your focus to what's within it. This not only reduces stress, but also makes you more effective. For example, if someone criticizes your work, instead of taking it to heart, ask yourself what you can learn from it. Growth comes not from the comment itself, but how you respond. Your reaction is where your power lies. Adopting a willing mindset is not something that changes overnight. It's a gradual journey. Begin with small steps, accept your flaws, learn from failures, and welcome daily obstacles with patience. The more you train this perspective, the less control anger and external chaos will have over you. In time, you'll uncover a quiet but powerful strength within, a strength that doesn't depend on how others act or how perfect your day is, but on your own choice to respond with calm and purpose. This is how you start living life on your own terms. Number 2. Stop judging others. Have you ever asked yourself why we often feel irritated or angry with people around us? One major reason is that we're constantly judging them. Think about it. How many times a day do you silently think, that person is so annoying, or you can't trust someone like that? These snap judgments don't just harm those we think about, they weigh heavily on us too. In Stoicism, letting go of judgment is a key practice for freeing ourselves from emotional burdens like frustration, resentment, and anger. Humans naturally view the world based on their own experiences and beliefs. So when someone behaves in a way we don't expect, our first instinct is often to criticize. For example, if a driver is moving slowly in front of you, your mind may instantly say, "They're such a bad driver." But what if they're just being cautious because they're new to driving? Or they have a baby in the back seat? It's not the action that upsets us, it's our interpretation of it. When we judge, we create unnecessary emotional strain that could easily be avoided. Judgment doesn't stay in your mind, it becomes the seed of anger. Take a colleague who's frequently late. If you decide they're lazy or unreliable, your annoyance will only increase over time. But if you pause and consider that they might be caring for someone who's ill or dealing with personal struggles, your reaction changes. That doesn't mean you ignore the problem or approve of the behavior. It means you protect your peace by not jumping to negative conclusions. Letting go of judgment doesn't mean becoming passive. It means choosing to understand rather than assume. When you stop labeling others harshly, you begin to see the world with more compassion and less stress. In the end, you're the one who benefits most. You lighten your emotional load and avoid the anger that often comes from false assumptions. By stepping back from judgment, you gain emotional clarity, and that's real strength. Stoicism doesn't teach us to ignore problems. It helps us see them more clearly. As Marcus Aurelius wisely wrote, you always have the option of having no opinion. There's no need to let things beyond your control disturb your peace of mind. People are neither entirely good nor bad. They are shaped by their actions, circumstances, and understanding. Reflect on a time when you didn't act at your best. Maybe you were tired, stressed, or just having an off day. In the same way, others' actions are often influenced by their own struggles. Even the most flawed individuals can show kindness when supported, and under pressure, anyone can falter. Imagine being at a restaurant and a server accidentally spills water on your table. Your first reaction might be anger, thinking, "They're so careless." But if you stop and consider that they may be having a difficult day, your frustration will fade. This is the power of releasing judgment. It frees you from unnecessary discomfort and helps you develop empathy for others. To clarify, letting go of judgment doesn't mean accepting wrongdoing. It means choosing not to let others' actions control your emotional state. You can still discern right from wrong without allowing negativity to consume you. As Marcus Aurelius also said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who inflicted the injury. The best way to respond to harm is not through anger, but by maintaining your calm and dignity. So how can we practice non-judgment? The first step is awareness. Every time you feel anger or irritation rising, take a moment to pause and reflect. When you catch yourself judging someone, ask yourself, is this thought necessary? Does it benefit me? Then try to shift your perspective. Put yourself in their shoes. What might they be going through that you don't know? Remember, everyone is different, and these differences are what make life rich. Just because someone is unlike you doesn't mean they're wrong. Nor is it worth your emotional energy to let their actions affect you. Letting go of judgment is about releasing emotional burdens. It's about setting yourself free. The next time someone irritates you, pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this feeling really worth it? You'll find that by viewing situations with empathy and understanding, you not only show kindness to others, but also to yourself. Ultimately, ask yourself, do you want to hold on to anger, or do you want to live a life of peace and freedom? The choice is always yours. Number 3, let go of control. When you stop judging others, you also begin to let go of control. This leads you to uncover a profound truth. Much of our frustration and anger arises from trying to make others behave the way we want them to. But the world doesn't work like that. People, with all their complexities, act according to their own reasons, often beyond our understanding. This brings us to an important question. Do we really need to control everything to find peace? Or does true peace come from letting go of control? This is the essence of Stoicism. Rather than wasting energy trying to change the uncontrollable, we learn to accept it and free ourselves from unnecessary burdens. While you can't dictate life, you always have the choice of how to respond to what life presents. Imagine you're driving in rush hour traffic. The cars are jammed, horns are blaring from all sides, and you're on the edge of being late. Anger rises as you think, why do people drive like this? Why can't traffic just improve? But the truth is, you can't change how others drive or clear the roads. The only thing you can control is your mindset and how you react. You can choose to stay upset, or you can take a deep breath and accept that some things are just out of your control. This may sound simple, but letting go of the need for control can truly transform your life. Take, for example, a mother who worries constantly about her child's grades. She can't take the tests for them or force success. An employee may feel frustrated with a boss's unreasonable decisions, but they can't control their boss's thoughts or actions. Negative emotions often arise when we place expectations on things beyond our power. When reality doesn't meet those expectations, disappointment follows. I once worked with a passionate young entrepreneur who spent years building a tech company, hoping to revolutionize an industry. However, when the product launched, the market feedback was disappointing. Frustrated, he blamed the customers for not understanding the product's value and even suspected sabotage by competitors. These emotions trapped him in bitterness and helplessness. During a conversation, I suggested focusing on what he could control and improve, rather than fixating on what he couldn't. This shift offered him a whole new perspective. He stopped blaming others, refined his product, adjusted his strategy, and embraced the patient success that comes with time. By letting go of what was beyond his control, he felt lighter, more creative, and eventually achieved far greater success than he had initially expected. Stoicism not only changes how we view challenges, but also encourages us to ask ourselves in stressful situations, is this within my control? Am I wasting energy on what I can't change? Is my reaction helping or hurting the situation? These simple questions serve as powerful tools to help you free yourself from negativity. Letting go of control doesn't mean surrendering or being passive. It's about focusing on what you can genuinely influence, your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Picture yourself rowing a boat down a river. You can't stop the current, but you can steer your boat to navigate it effectively. A practical Stoic exercise is premeditatio malorum, which means anticipating adversity. Before starting your day, take a moment to imagine what might go wrong. Plans getting canceled, colleagues making mistakes, or bad weather. By preparing for these scenarios mentally, they become easier to accept when they actually occur. Ultimately, letting go is not a sign of weakness, but a form of powerful liberation. When you stop clinging to what's beyond your control, you'll experience a remarkable sense of peace. Start small. Don't try to change others' opinions, dwell on the past, or hold on to what you can't change. Life flows like a river, and when you learn to move with its current, you'll discover the peace you've been seeking all along. Number 4, embrace imperfection in the world. In life, none of us can avoid moments of frustration or even anger when others don't meet our expectations. But have you ever asked yourself why we expect perfection from the world and the people around us? Stoicism teaches us that the demand for perfection is an illusion, and that very illusion is the root of much of our suffering. Realizing that imperfection is inherent in life is the first step to freeing yourself from the negative emotions caused by others. Think about this. Have you ever felt disappointed because a colleague didn't complete their task properly, affecting your work? Or have you been upset when a friend broke a promise or a family member said something hurtful? Such situations are common, but is it realistic to expect perfection from everyone? Epictetus reminds us that it's not events themselves that disturb people, but rather their judgments about those events. Anger and frustration don't come from others' actions, they come from how we interpret those actions. The chaotic, imperfect world doesn't need to change to suit your needs. What needs to change is how you perceive it. Take a specific example. Imagine you've prepared thoroughly for an important presentation, only to have a colleague, responsible for supporting materials, make mistakes or omissions that seem to ruin your effort. Frustration is natural, and you might think, why were they so careless when I tried so hard? But viewed through a Stoic lens, you'll see that their mistake is beyond your control. Anger only worsens the situation. Instead of blaming them, you might ask yourself, what can I do now to salvage this situation? By accepting imperfection, you not only maintain calm but also find solutions more effectively. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control. As Marcus Aurelius wisely wrote, begin each day by telling yourself, today, I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, all of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil. Starting your day with the understanding that imperfection is inevitable prepares you to face challenges with resilience. This is not pessimism, it's realism, allowing you to navigate difficulties with a steady mind. In everyday life, embracing imperfection can change the way you react. When someone breaks a promise, instead of feeling anger, remind yourself that they are human and may be dealing with struggles you can't see. If you feel misunderstood, stay calm and seek clarity rather than jumping to conclusions. Perhaps they didn't intend to hurt you, but simply didn't understand your perspective. And when faced with rudeness or criticism, ask yourself, does this truly harm me? Or is it my interpretation that makes me feel hurt? Accepting imperfection doesn't mean giving up on improving yourself or the world. On the contrary, it liberates you. When you stop demanding that others behave the way you wish, you free yourself from disappointment and focus on what truly matters. For instance, in relationships, we often expect our partners to understand us perfectly. But the reality is, even those who love us most can't always read our emotions or needs. Instead of blaming them, ask yourself, can I communicate more clearly to foster mutual understanding? This approach not only eases dissatisfaction but also fosters empathy. When you truly accept the imperfections of the world, you'll find joy in its flaws. A careless coworker, an inconsiderate friend, or even a rude stranger becomes an opportunity to practice patience and compassion. Ask yourself, have I ever made mistakes? If I want forgiveness from others, why can't I forgive them? This perspective reminds you that everyone, including you, is doing their best. As Seneca wrote, he who is brave is free. The courage to face imperfection isn't just a sign of compassion, but a path to inner freedom. Life doesn't have to be perfect for you to find happiness. When you stop expecting perfection from others or the world, you free yourself from the burden of anger. Marcus Aurelius said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By letting such thoughts guide you, you'll discover peace amid the chaos. This isn't about compromising with imperfection, it's the art of living. Take responsibility for your feelings. When we learn to accept the world's imperfections, a new door opens, a door leading inward to our own inner self. The world may be chaotic, people may fall short of our expectations, and things rarely go as planned. But must these realities trouble us? Accepting external imperfections is one thing, but the deeper challenge lies in learning to control our emotions in the face of what we cannot change. This raises a fundamental question. Who is responsible for your emotions? You or the circumstances beyond your control? Stoicism compels us to confront this truth. Imagine standing in a long supermarket queue on a busy weekend, surrounded by impatience. Suddenly, someone cuts in front of you without so much as an apology or a glance back. Instantly, irritation rises, and you feel disrespected. You could respond by voicing your anger, grumbling under your breath, or carrying that resentment for the rest of the day. But there is another choice. You can pause and ask yourself, is this person's action truly worth sacrificing my peace? They may be wrong, but my emotions are mine. Why should I let them dictate how I feel? If you choose calmness, a remarkable thing happens. the irritation fades. The person might remain oblivious to their rudeness, but their actions no longer hold power over you unless you allow them to. The queue might be slightly longer, but your inner peace remains intact. That seemingly trivial incident becomes just another minor moment in your day, rather than the spark for a cascade of negative emotions. When you reclaim control of your emotions, life becomes much lighter. In our daily lives, we often unknowingly hand control of our emotions to others. When someone insults, criticizes, or ignores you, the instinctive response is to feel hurt, angry, or dejected. But ask yourself, why let another person's words or actions dictate your mood? Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher and emperor of Rome, wisely observed, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." His words remind us of a profound truth. While we cannot control others, we can always choose how to react to them. Consider a time when you were unfairly criticized at work. Anger and frustration may have felt inevitable, but what if you reminded yourself that your worth isn't determined by others' opinions? By reframing your reaction, you could free yourself from their influence over your emotions. But how do we achieve this? Start by practicing the power of pause. When faced with an upsetting situation, ask yourself, am I overreacting? Is this worth losing my peace? A brief pause creates space between the trigger and your response, giving you the opportunity to choose calm over chaos. Another effective method is keeping a journal of your emotions, a practice rooted in Stoicism. Each evening, take a few minutes to reflect on what upset you today, how you reacted, and whether you could have responded differently. Over time, this habit helps you identify emotional patterns and build the discipline to manage them. Taking responsibility for your emotions is the key to a more tranquil life. No one can make you angry or upset unless you allow it. Marcus Aurelius also wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." His words remind us that emotions are ours to control, not someone else's. Protect your peace, and you'll find that nothing can truly disturb your spirit. Do you resonate with this perspective? If so, don't hesitate to like and share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories and reflections. If you see things differently, share your viewpoint. It might spark a meaningful and enriching discussion for everyone. Let's continue this journey together with the next lesson. Lesson number 6. Practice non-reaction. Life often throws unexpected moments our way. A colleague openly criticizes you during a meeting, a stranger cuts in line while you've been waiting patiently, or perhaps someone throws a sharp remark your way, leaving you feeling offended. These small incidents, though seemingly trivial, can disrupt your mood, stirring anger and frustration. But is there a way to overcome these negative emotions and maintain composure in the face of others' actions? The answer lies in mastering the art of non-reaction. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Reflecting on this truth reveals that your emotions stem not from others' actions, but from how you interpret them. Imagine being publicly criticized in a meeting. Your initial reaction might be irritation or embarrassment at being called out in front of everyone. You may feel compelled to defend yourself or retaliate to restore your dignity. But pause for a moment instead of reacting immediately. Ask yourself, why should I let these words dictate how I feel? That colleague's hasty behavior doesn't define your worth or abilities. It merely reflects their state of mind at that moment. By choosing not to react, you safeguard your calmness and maintain professionalism in front of others. Consider an alternative approach. Respond with composure. Perhaps by smiling and saying, "Thank you for your feedback. I'll address that after presenting my ideas." That single moment of calm grants you control over the situation. The colleague, rather than being met with hostility, is disarmed by your poise, and you, rather than succumbing to negativity, leave the meeting with confidence and a sense of peace. Seneca wisely advised, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." One of the best ways to master non-reaction is to give yourself a pause when insulted. Resist the urge to respond immediately. Instead, take a deep breath and reflect. For example, if a colleague sends a critical email, delay your response by an hour or even a day. This allows you to approach the matter with clarity and respond thoughtfully rather than emotionally. Sometimes, silence is the most powerful response. Choosing not to retaliate not only protects your peace, but also prevents others from controlling your emotions. As the saying goes, if a donkey kicks you and you kick back, you are both donkeys. This parable reminds us that reacting to negativity with negativity only lowers us to the same level. Silence doesn't signify weakness, rather it reflects inner strength. The power to rise above the need for immediate retaliation lies in choosing calmness over chaos. Picture a heated argument where every word fuels the fire of anger. If one side suddenly stops engaging, the flames inevitably die down. The one who chooses silence emerges as the true victor, having mastered their emotions and preserved their peace of mind. Reflect for a moment. When was the last time you lost your temper over something trivial? Was that anger truly worth sacrificing your tranquility? If you could go back, how would you respond differently? These questions encourage introspection and daily self-improvement. Marcus Aurelius profoundly noted, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Recognizing that you control your reactions empowers you to navigate life with greater ease. Non-reaction doesn't mean passively accepting everything. It means discerning what truly deserves your attention and energy. By practicing non-reaction, you not only master your emotions, but also safeguard the peace within your soul. Remind yourself daily that while you cannot control others' actions, you can always control your response. Calmness, silence, and an unshaken heart are your greatest weapons in this chaotic world. And this is the essence of Stoicism. When we learn to remain calm and avoid reacting hastily to life's events, our soul gradually becomes lighter. The things that once angered or disturbed us transform into mere ripples in the flow of life. As our hearts are no longer clouded with resentment or frustration, a new space emerges, a space to love, empathize, and give. In this transformation, we discover a profound joy, the joy of understanding that sometimes the best way to protect our peace is to forgive. This journey leads us to a place where the mind finds tranquility and the heart opens wider than ever before. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." These words serve as a gentle reminder of life's blessings. Each morning offers us a new chance to love, help others, and live with a heart more open than the day before. Forgiveness, seen through the lens of Marcus Aurelius, is neither distant nor difficult. It's simply a way to recognize that helping others brings joy, not only to them, but also to ourselves. I recall a story about a friend who worked in a high-pressure environment. He was frequently criticized, sometimes unfairly by colleagues, yet instead of reacting with anger, he chose to listen and ask himself, "Are they going through something I don't know about?" One day, he discovered that a particularly critical colleague was facing significant financial struggles. This understanding changed his perspective entirely. Instead of retaliating, he remained silent, listened, and even offered help when possible. The result was remarkable. Not only did their relationship improve, but the workplace atmosphere became much less tense as well. In families, minor disagreements can easily escalate into major arguments. Imagine having a relative who constantly criticizes you, no matter what you do. Their words may deeply hurt, but remember that their criticism often stems from their own insecurities or pain, not from you. When you understand this, anger loses its power. Choosing forgiveness doesn't mean accepting wrong behavior. It means refusing to let it control your emotions. Anger often arises from expectations. We expect others to behave in ways we deem correct. But the world is imperfect, and everyone carries unseen burdens. Recognizing this can dissolve those expectations, and when expectations fade, anger has no reason to exist. The beauty of forgiveness is that it not only helps us overcome anger, but also brings genuine joy and relief. Recall a time when you helped someone without expecting anything in return. How did it feel? Likely peaceful and deeply meaningful. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Practicing forgiveness is not only about giving, but also about reclaiming control over our emotions. It is a state of spiritual freedom that no material wealth can buy. Modern research supports this wisdom. People who regularly practice acts of kindness and selflessness report higher levels of happiness. Stoicism, with its millennia-old teachings, understood this truth well. Forgiveness is not just a moral virtue, but also a path to a fuller life. Take a moment to ask yourself, can I see this situation from their perspective? What might be driving their behavior? Regularly practicing these questions can ease discomfort and foster understanding. When was the last time you helped someone without expecting anything in return? How did it make you feel? Reflecting on these moments can guide you to practice forgiveness daily. Forgiveness doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes it's as simple as being patient with someone's carelessness. Instead of trying to control what's beyond your power, focus on bettering yourself. When you show kindness to someone, be grateful for the opportunity to do so, rather than clinging to anger. Seneca beautifully said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." Wherever life places you, there's a chance to extend compassion. Choose forgiveness, not just for others, but for yourself. In giving and understanding, you build a better world for both yourself and those around you. Forgiveness is not just an action, it's the key to living freely and peacefully. We've just explored 7 methods to maintain inner peace and remain unaffected by anger or annoyance caused by others. These principles aren't just philosophical musings. They are compasses guiding us toward true inner freedom by embracing acceptance. You learn to align with life by letting go of judgment. You free yourself from the burden of bias, relinquishing control, embracing imperfection, taking responsibility for your emotions, and practicing non-reactivity. All these steps lead you closer to genuine self-mastery, and along the way, finding joy and compassion becomes the greatest gift you can give, not just to others, but also to yourself. If you found this video helpful and haven't liked it yet, take a moment to do so. It truly helps us spread these positive values. Don't hesitate to share this video with your loved ones, as even a small message can brighten someone's day. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more inspiring content coming your way. Thank you for being here, and see you in the next video.